On the 10th day of Christmas. What do they get on the 10 days? I don't know that verse. 10 Lords of Leaping? No? You get a bunch of something. That's all I know. And today is the 10th day of Christmas. Merry Christmas. We are still in the midst of celebrating our wedding. The church is still running back to the manger to see the gift that we received 10 days ago on Christmas night. This is a really kind of weird part of the liturgical year, right? Physically, we are all shoved full of cheese and cookies, so we're kind of sluggish, right? This is kind of that moment, like on Christmas morning, right? Especially when you're little, and all the presents were unwrapped and the hordes of paper are all over the living room, and you just kind of sit there, right? That kind of, that's what the church is doing right now, is looking at all the awesome wonder that is unfolded in our eyes over these last 10 days. This has been an amazing season of grace. And this actually began way in November, if you remember, even before Advent started. So on the second Sunday of November is when all that Starbucks cup stuff came out. Remember that? And we preached about it. We talked about it and how the war on Christmas isn't about the things of Christmas. It's about how we celebrate Christmas. And we're going to do Advent and Christmas differently by looking at it the way the church has always looked at it, which is through the eyes of a first century Jewish wedding. And then the first Sunday of Advent came, and the heralds went forth announcing the royal wedding, and the church donned the colors of the king. And the second week of Advent is when John the Baptist, the best man, shows up to get the bride ready. You all remember this. And then the third Sunday, we all wore robes. The church put on the wedding garments, the garment of light. And the fourth Sunday, we cried out with the longing, "O antiphons." And then at midnight, the cry went up, and the bridegroom was here, and we've been celebrating the wedding ever since. There are 12 days of Christmas. The Magi haven't even come with their wedding gifts yet. That's on Wednesday. So we're still celebrating. Do you know how kind of in every major Christmas movie, like The Christmas Story or Polar Express, after all the shards of presents are on the ground, and there's always someone that says, "I see one more present under the tree." And that's like the most important present. It's the Red Ryder BB gun, or it's the bell from Polar Express. It's like the key of the whole thing, right? That's what we do today as a church. There's one more present under the tree. We've been saying to each other, probably for 10 days, and still saying it, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. We talked about that. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. It's here where we encounter Christ. We wish each other to have a good one. To have a good what? Encounter with Jesus. That last present under the tree. To have a good encounter with him. Preparation periods like Advent and Lent, especially when they're attached to the number 40, like Lent has 40 days, those 40-day periods lead to a major manifestation of God. Moses was on the mountain for 40 days before the 10 Commandments came. He had a major manifestation of God. Our preparation periods lead us to a major manifestation of God. And for you in particular, what was your manifestation of God the last 10 days? What was yours personally? What was your personal encounter with the incarnation of Christ over these last 10 days? What was your Merry Christmas? What was your Merry coming to touch Christ? What was it? Where did you see him? How did he show up? How did he come to you? Because he did. Mine was a unique one. And mine started back here in the manger. On Christmas night, right at the beginning of that Mass, the Christ Mass, we sang the Christmas proclamation at the door. And that Christmas proclamation ends by singing, "The bridegroom is here, come out to greet him." The shouts of the bridegroom at the door. And then all of a sudden, the wedding procession began, the cross and the candles and the choir. And then the bridegroom comes in. And I was an Italian, and I couldn't even sing that, "O come all ye faithful," because I was crying through the first 2 verses. But one of the reasons I was crying is because that became my Christ Mass encounter. Because I was seeing this. I was seeing the back of him facing all of you. And if you notice our image of the Christ child, look at his arms. They're fully out. It's like always he's saying, pick me up, pick me up, pick me up. Right? I'm seeing the bridegroom run to the bride. I'm seeing him with his arms outstretched to every single one of us. To those who prepared during Advent and who had their hearts ready and were excited for the coming of the Christ child, his arms are raised. For those who maybe didn't have an awesome Advent and who maybe gave in to the secular Christmas, the shopping season of Christmas, his arms were still raised. Maybe those who came to the Midnight Eucharist because they just show up on Christmas and Easter, his arms were still raised. His arms were still raised to all those people who mothers made them feel guilty and drug them up on church on Christmas. His arms were raised. It was an overwhelming sense for me, of the love of Christ and what he has came for, with his arms outstretched to every single one of us in this room. It also gave me a deep appreciation for my priesthood, because that's the role of the priest, is to walk behind the bridegroom and offer the bridegroom to everyone. That's the role of the priest. This was my Christ Mass. This was my encounter that has changed me and made me different, and how Christmas has left its mark on my heart, and I won't go into next Christmas the same way. What was your encounter with Christ? You may be looking at me right now like I have 3 heads. Encounter with Jesus. I was too busy. That's okay. What was the noise in your life that prevented you from having it? What was the stuff in your way? Maybe you didn't do Christmas right if you didn't feel him. But the good news is, he still came to you. And you might not have known it. He came to every single person in this room. Herod in the gospel account didn't know it. The Magi show up and say, hey, we've come to worship baby Jesus. And they're all like, what? That doesn't mean Christ didn't come. He did. He came. He came to every single one of you. I would encourage you this week just to stop and see how he did. Maybe it's in words from a loved one. Maybe you had a very mystical encounter in a prayer moment. Maybe it was something in the Christ Mass. But during this Christ Mass season, he is revealing himself to you and changing you differently than the way you came in. So what was it? If you don't know, there's still time left on the clock. Christmas isn't over. The 12 days of Christmas go until Wednesday. Christmastide will conclude next week when we go to the waters of Jordan, and it's our response to the Christmas season, the baptism of the Lord on Sunday. You still got a week left. But his arms are still outstretched. His arms are still outstretched to you, to come to know the love of God who humbled himself to come be with us because he loves you. So, how was your Christmas?